What is up? Good morning, people. Good morning. It always seems like that whole 3 minutes that I get to prepare is just not enough time. I need to make a longer intro or something. Y'all gonna be like, longer. Let me get myself prepared. Listen, the problem is I never be ready. And so I'll press the button and start the stupid intro and just completely not be ready and be like, oh yeah, you only got like 3 minutes, L Teddy. So get your life in order. Anyway, we are here. Listen, y'all, listen. Programming note, listen, I got so much to talk about and cover this morning. So we're gonna do this Jon Gruden now. I'm gonna stop the live because I want to keep this just about Jon Gruden, and then we'll have another the politics of it all. It's too much going on across the fruited plains for us not to discuss. So, programming alert. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about and discuss. And I got my snacks because at some point we might have a whole sugar spike around these parts. So let me get prepared. Let me greet you all and say good morning. Good morning, everyone who is here. Hey, Carolyn. I can't even pronounce. I'm not going to even try and pronounce Mickey was. Good morning. Hey, Jason. What's going on? What's going on, little baby? Boogie L, Raphael, Tracy, BR Burns, Abby. All right. Good morning. So yeah, 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 yeah. We got a lot going on this morning, y'all. We got a lot going on early in the morning. But we're gonna get through it and we're gonna make it happen. So we're gonna start. Let me pull up all of my information that I need. I like to come to y'all prepared. Hey, by the way, hello everyone as we come in here. We are going to discuss the young man that was in the thumbnail, none other than one Mr. Jon Gruden. Now, y'all know me, I like to break this stuff down and I like to, parcel it out and we like to, really get in and go in deep on some of this stuff so that you can be informed and you can see clearer pictures of what's going on. Okay? Clearer pictures of what's going on. Let me get all my paperwork that I need, uh, all my documents. So, um, pull up all of this. All right. So, if you don't know who Jon Gruden is, let me give you a little quick 3 seconds on who he is. Jon Gruden is the head football coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland Raiders because they used to be the Oakland Raiders, but now they're the Las Vegas Raiders. Uh, he used to be an NFL head coach. He used to coach the Raiders. Oh, that's maybe going back 15 plus years when he coached the Raiders. And then, so he coached the Raiders on, yeah, maybe 15 plus years ago. And then he was traded to, not traded, but he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers their first NFL Super Bowl ring. That was his first ring, uh, and so forth. Um, Left, went to the television booth and became a commentator for ESPN, became the highest paid employee by the ESPN. I will tell you that. This young man was making more than a lot of ESPN executives. He was the highest paid employee of ESPN, higher than all of their color commentators, higher than all of their people who have been with ESPN. Because when he first got hired by ESPN, you still had Berman. You still had all of the old guys. Chris Berman was still on there. You still had what's my guy name who I can't think of his name, but all he was getting paid more than the people who opened the channel. So he is the one that looked like the Chucky doll, Abby. A lot of people call him Chucky. Anyway, hey, prayed up. So there was an email that was sent. Now here is the white privilege of it all. See, when you're the Jon Grudens of the world, you are the all-American boy, played football, youthful appearing, blonde hair, white male. You can get whatever you want, or so you believe. You can not only live and stand in your bigotry and racism, oh, you will put it to black and white because you have no fear of any repercussions or consequences. Now let's go. Let me take you down this road. Let's go down this road. So recently, this is how all of this got started. The NFL is doing an investigation on Rob Snyder. Is that John Snyder? I think is the head, the owner of the Washington football team. They are doing an investigation on John Snyder. I believe his name is John. I know his last name is Snyder. I think it's John or Rob Snyder. Anyway, I think it's John Snyder. They're doing an investigation on that young man and some of the practices of the Washington football team. In their investigation of the Washington football team and their owner and all of the things that they got going on, which is a whole nother live that I could do on, they come across emails. Daniel Snyder, thank you. Daniel Snyder, thank you. God, I know it was a Snyder. So many Snyders out there. Anyway, thank you. It is Dan Snyder. In their investigation of Dan Snyder, the Washington football team, and everything they're doing, they found emails that Jon Gruden was sending to executives, front office personnel down there to the Washington football team, even before he was head coach of the Raiders, which he's been head coach about 3 or 4 years now, like 3 or 4 years he's been head coach. But he was, while he was employed with ESPN, was sending emails out about all kinds of stuff. Oh yes. Let me pull some of this stuff up for you. Let me get you these emails that young man was sending, because I don't want to quote him wrong. I don't want you to get, I don't want to, I don't want to not get it right. So the Wall Street Journal, okay, I believe was the first to report on this. At least that's where I'm all right. On July 21st, 2011, the National Football League and its players were working to resolve a lockout that threatened the upcoming season. That day, the league's owners voted to ratify a new collective bargaining agreement, but the players opted not to vote on it immediately, citing outstanding issues that the union was fighting to resolve. That same day, Jon Gruden, the current Las Vegas Raiders coach, he wasn't then, but currently the current. Hey, Alan, Karen, um, the current Las Vegas Raiders coach has been one of the most prominent figures in the NFL over the past 2 decades, sent an email about DeMaurice Smith. Now, DeMaurice Smith is the executive director for the Players Union. So the NFL Players Association, their union is headed by DeMaurice Smith. And DeMaurice Smith is the one who goes and leads the collective bargaining with the NFL and Roger Goodell and all of the NFL execs. So when they have this collective bargaining, is DeMaurice Smith who represents the players side, which is 90+% African American, 90+% black, and then you have the NFL, which comes together. Hey, Dee, the bestest. I'm sorry, Didi's the bestest. All right, so he sent an email about DeMaurice Smith during the time of this when they were collective bargaining for the NFL contracts and so forth, and there was there was going to be a lockout. Was there a lockout? I believe there was a lockout. It was so many years ago, I can't remember now. But anyway, the Players Association was in collective bargaining with the head coach. With the NFL. So he sent an email to an executive of the Washington football team about DeMaurice Smith, the players, and everything that was going on when they were doing, which is their right as a union to collective bargain for their contract so that they can get everything that they want and need out of their contract. So, here is one of the one part of the email said, Dumb Morris Smith. Now, his name is DeMaurice Smith, D-E, and then add the Maurice on there, D-E-M-A-U-R-I-C-E. He wrote Dumb Morris Smith, D-U-M-B-O-R-I-S-S. Calling the man dumb. Dumb Morris Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires. That is what he said. And that's basically the part of the email that garnered the most attention. Hey, it's me, D. Hey, B.R. Burns. So he was asked about it. He then apologized for it, and he said, I'm really sorry. I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's a liar. I don't have a racial bone in my body, and I've proven that for 58 years. So he came right out, just like any good racist would. Because a racist, when you call them a racist, the first thing that they fart out of their mouth is, I don't have a racist bone in my body. Either that or my best friend so-and-so is whatever race. I work with all types of so-and-so. I have a family member that has a child that's half so-and-so. So, that's what he said when asked about it. That's what he said to the Wall Street Journal. He said to the Wall Street Journal, I'm really sorry. I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's a liar. And when talking about DeMaurice Smith, I don't have a racial bone in my body. I've proven that for 58 years. It began to make the news cycle. And he came out with this that I saw on ESPN. Here was a press conference that he did. When was that? Sunday.
All I can say is I'm not a racist. I can't tell you how sick I am. I apologize again to D. Smith, but I feel good about who I am and what I've done my entire life. And I apologize for the insensitive remarks. I had I had no racial intentions with those remarks at all. But yes, they can. I'm not like that at all, but I apologize. I don't want to keep addressing it.
Now, that young man said, "Hey, Jason, I apologize. I don't want to keep addressing it." This is what it was when it was DeMaurice Smith. But, oh, 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 oh. When it was just DeMaurice Smith, there wasn't the outcry. And even his players, majority of whom are black, former players, all who spoke out were on him being black. "Oh, I've never known him to be racist. Oh, I am here to windmill for Jon Gruden. I'm here because he's right. He doesn't have a racist bone in his body." How many people we go to work with via our 9 to 5 that we know full well when they probably leave that job, they probably say and do anything across the fruited, but they probably say and do anything you can imagine. It's a whole lot of people that you work with, a whole lot of bosses that you've worked for, a whole lot of people you sat next to at work or work next to that we know have all kinds of ideologies and thinking. But the players came out real fast. Okay? The players came out real fast. That, though, because we knew how this was going to go. He played it right. "I don't have a racist bone in my body. I'm sorry. Didn't mean it. I didn't mean to call him dumb. Even though you had dumb, you misspelled his name purposely to put dumb in it. But no, you are white America. You are the personification of all white America. You played for one of the most heralded football teams in the NFL. We'll get to the Raiders in a little second. You are the blonde-haired white boy, the least melanated of us all, coaching the good old football team, coaching them there black boys to get out there and put their bodies on the line. Because let's be clear, Jon Gruden isn't one of these people who had a long stint in the NFL and then rose up the ranks as assistant coaches to become a head coach. Jon Gruden didn't even play in the NFL. If he did, it was only for a year or two. He didn't spend a whole lot of time in the NFL. So he didn't put his body on the line a whole lot, okay? But because of the good old boy white privilege and white supremacy, he rose real quickly up the ranks and became a head football coach real young. Whereas black men who have put their bodies on the line, who have studied the sports, who are just as intelligent, if not more intelligent than most of their white counterparts, still are having a hard time getting a head coaching job. But let me continue, because it doesn't stop there. Dear God, today. So after the players came out so quickly to defend Coach Gruden, and then they started to roll out the good stuff. Oh yes. Oh yes. Then the other emails started to come out. And let me read you some of the stuff that he wrote about Roger Goodell. Because he didn't just have the smoke for for DeMaurice Smith. Oh, no, no, God, no. He had smoke for Roger Goodell. And now I'm going to just read some of this stuff for you, okay? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? In an email, let me read this part of the article. Move away, stupid thing. All right. It says Jon Gruden's messages and emails were sent to Bruce Allen, the former president of the Washington football team, and others while he was working for ESPN as a color analyst during Monday Night Football, the sports network's weekly primetime telecast of NFL games. In the emails, Gruden called the league's commissioner Roger Goodell a faggot and a quote clueless anti-football pussy, end quote, and said that Goodell should not have pressured Jeff Fisher, then coach of the Rams, to draft quote queers, end quote, a reference to Michael Sam, a gay player chosen by the team in 2014. In numerous emails during a 7-year period ending in 2018, Jon Gruden criticized Goodell and the league for trying to reduce concussions and said that Eric Smith, a player who had demonstrated during the playing of the national anthem alongside Colin Kaepernick, should be fired. In several instances, Gruden used homophobic slurs to refer to Roger Goodell and offensive language to describe some NFL owners, coaches, and journalists who cover the league. Hey, Tabitha, what is going on? So, here's what we got going on. When it was just about the black man, the dumb black man with the lips that look like Michelin tires, it was okay. Black men across the NFL immediately ran to the support of Jon Gruden, this white man who said some very incendiary things about the black man who is the head of your players association, who you all have entrusted to fight for all of your contractual rights and agreements and so forth and so on. So instead of these black players saying, you know what, nope, I'm going to support the head of this NFL Players Association. I'm going to support the head of my executive director. Firstly, probably most importantly, because he's a fellow black man like I am, and he played this game like I have, and has been subject to the racial tension that goes on in the plantation that we call the NFL. Okay. But instead of supporting this black man, oh no, they all rallied behind. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, not Jon Gruden. Like he said, he doesn't have a racist bone in his body in all his 58 years. But when, see, we talked about this yesterday. Yesterday, when we talked about Dave Chappelle, we talked about when you have that intersectionality. Whenever it's about just the black people, be it just black people in general, or be it just black gay people. If it's just black and white America is not bothered with it, be it white American, heterosexual, white America, LGBT, if white America is not affected by it, guess what they're going to do? Oh, that ain't my problem. That ain't my issue. We don't care. But when a white person gets introduced into it, oh my God, now there's a problem. Now we got to, you know, now there's a problem. So now, there are also emails where he's criticizing President Obama. He criticized Eric Reed, and we talked about that just a moment ago, for kneeling against police brutality and racism during the national anthem. Um, he also, in an email, said that he has no sympathy for Eric Reed and no sympathy for any players that want to speak out about social justice. Okay, so last night or yesterday, the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, son of Al Davis. And let me tell you a little bit about the Las Vegas Raiders. When they were the LA Raiders and when they were the Oakland Raiders, and they were owned by Al Davis. The one thing you knew about the Oakland Raiders or the LA Raiders and Al Davis was the one owner in the NFL that was like, I'm not here for this racist stuff. I am here to be inclusive. And he has been that way. And the Raiders, as much as people look at the Raiders as this menacing team, they have always been about diversity and inclusion. Al Davis said that from the beginning. Al Davis, if you remember, hired the first ever black head football coach, Art Shell, and he hired the first Latino head football coach. What was the guy? Tom Flores. That was his name. I almost forgot. If I'm not mistaken, they also hired the first female executive for the NFL, front office executive. They also have right now on the team the first openly gay NFL active player. Remember, Michael Sam never got, he never made it past training camp. He got dropped. And Carl Nassib is active, starting openly gay. So this has been a storied team of diversity. The Raiders have been that. When a lot of NFL teams hasn't been, like the Cowboys and a whole lot of other teams, that was never the Raiders. The Raiders were always diverse and inclusive. And so when the owner, son of Al Davis, God bless the dead, they said he went down. They said he went down to the facilities and went straight to Gruden's office. And after, maybe about an hour or so, Gruden was sending out a tweet that he had resigned. Now, let me give you some information. Now, I told y'all Gruden has, I believe, still to date, the highest contract of any NFL coach. He had a $100 million 10-year, $100 million contract just to coach. We're not talking about him out there putting his body on the line every day. They gave this contract to somebody who had been out of the NFL for several years because they wanted the good old boy, the white boy that sat up there and was beloved by ESPN. And you can't tell me that nobody knew that this man had this. If he was as bold as to send out these emails haphazardly and willy-nilly, you got to think that people around him knew he had these thought processes. He had these beliefs. He was this way. And and what happened was you had, when it was just him talking about the one black man, oh, okay, everybody can come to his defense. But it should have stopped right there. The fact that he's questioning the intelligence of this black man just tells you that. That's to me, that's the foundation of race. That's rudimentary racism, because you immediately believe that because someone is black, they cannot be as intelligent as you are. And like I told you, he immediately spewed out what any good racist spews out from the beginning. I don't have a racist bone in my body. Well, sir, you don't get to make that estimation. And you can have every black player known to man come and defend you. You can have every black coworker come defend you. You can have every black friend in the world You do not get to make the decision and tell us and dictate which further goes into your white supremacy. Because see, that's the white privilege and white supremacy, which means that you believe that you can control the narrative. Because we watched the press conference where at the end he said, and I don't want to talk about this anymore. Because the white privilege in you believes that you can control the narrative. The white privilege and white supremacy in you believe that you can dictate and tell us, I'm not racist. I don't care what you say. I don't care what emails you saw. I don't care how you believe. I ain't racist. So you're gonna tell us that you're not homophobic either? What are we talking about? And see, it goes even further. This guy was head coach, and I don't think he still is GM, but at one point he was head coach and GM, which means he's making decisions about who gets what positions, who gets what jobs. And this goes back into the culture and ideology of the NFL and a lot of these institutions that are good old boy American institutions who always believe that us as black people will always be inferior, that we are less intelligent. And the contrary, it's all the contrary. That couldn't be the furthest from the truth because, in most estimations, we are more intelligent. In most cases, we're more everything. I hate to be that guy, but we are. And they love to have themselves in positions where they can continue, hey, MVN, to keep people of color and black people down, because you can't tell me that everybody he was sending emails to, and it wasn't just the executive for the Washington football team, he'd be sending it to other people. In order for him to feel comfortable enough to send that email, these are people who sided with him. Please be clear. There would be no resignation had Roger Goodell's name not been thrown in there. And then you got Roger Goodell's name coupled with homophobic language, which means that now it ain't just the black people now. Now the white people can get involved, and now they can be outraged. And now, because they're outraged, that is time for a resignation. But when it was just our black asses that were outraged, oh no, he's fine. We don't need to talk about this anymore. It's fine. He can have his racist ideologies and his racist tendencies and his racist tropes and continue to make decisions on contracts, continue to make decisions on who's kept by the team, who's dropped by the team, who is picked up by the team, how much money these people get offered. Mind you, you live in the right life of Riley. Because they done gave you and your racist ass your $100 million contract. Now, he did resign because his contract is guaranteed, whereas most NFL contracts we know are not guaranteed, not the full amount. His was guaranteed because they're going to make sure they protect the good old white boy. Whereas the players don't get those luxuries. And you know which players end up getting the most guaranteed money? The quarterbacks, who, by the way, tend to be what? I'm just saying, we have a few more black quarterbacks than we used to back in the day, but that's a recent thing. Just saying. They have paid quarterbacks who are horrible to remain on teams. And like I said, they get the most guaranteed money. Now, do I need to go back down this road? Do I need to go back down the rabbit hole with my frat brother, Colin Kaepernick? Do I need to go back down this road and tell you how all this plays in? Because there's only mention of Eric Reed because Eric Reed was teammate of Colin Kaepernick when he was in San Francisco. And the two of them, were the ones that did the protest. Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick. And if you remember, Eric Reed was one of the people who went to the NFL and was talking to the NFL about these issues and about what players wanted with regard to the protest and what they were fighting for. And Eric Reed didn't have a job for a little bit, and then he did get picked up by a team. But then he started to speak out about the NFL and how they were not meeting in good faith. And the NFL started to have a problem with him because he was letting the cat out of the bag, that the NFL really wasn't trying to get past all of the racial things. They just wanted the protest to go away for all of their white constituents. Jon Gruden speaks to what sports in America is really about tolerating, and is really about. It's about this white man, especially when you talk about football. In more cases than not, it is about a white man who lives a plantation mentality, where it is the modern day plantation. And what ends up happening is they look to their players whenever situations like this come. They look to their players first to be the first ones to come out, because the players are usually black. And if the black players go and talk to their community, they can make their community believe that this coach is not as racist as they are. Just like back in slavery days, when they used to have black people go to other black people and tell them, no, you got to listen to Massa. No, you got to do that. You can't do that. Massa gonna get mad. Massa loves us. Look how he feeds us. Look how he takes care of us. He gives us a house. We ought to be grateful. And that's what you had come out. A mess. Is he racist? Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's how racist, if for my fellow racists out, I shouldn't say fellow because I'm not racist, y'all know that, but for my racists out there, okay, when and if you have this kind of situation, do not immediately come out and say, oh, I'm not racist. Oh no, can't be racist. That's not me. Oh my God, no, I'm not racist. You should start off by saying that I did that. I apologize for that. And that was at a time where I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now. I wasn't as cultured as I am now. I wasn't as inclusive as I am today. And I am appalled at myself at how I used to believe and how I used to act. Hey, Jay Parrish. And I want to come back and say out loud, listen, I am a work in progress. And those statements that I made in the past do not represent who I am today. And I am working with people and individuals and organizations to get better and to make good on those horrible things that I did in the past, because I am learning and we all are learning. I don't want to run away from it. I'm going to tell you, I made a mistake. I was wrong. Come out and tell me you made a mistake. Don't come out and try and just be dismissive and say, oh, I'm not racist and we have nothing to talk about. Let me bring out all my black friends and all my black coworkers and all my black whatevers, family members. That's going to tell you I'm not racist. So when the question is asked, is he racist? Absolutely. 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 Was he fired because he's racist? Nope. He was fired because he talked about Roger Goodell. And then he started putting out homophobic slurs against Roger Goodell. That's why he got fired. That's our update on Jon Gruden. Y'all listen. I'm about to end this live, and we're about to go into a politics of it all that you do not want to miss. We got several things to talk about in the politics of it all that I'm about to do in 3 minutes. Y'all stay around. I'm about to end this live. We'll take a good, sugar spike break, and then the next live is already set up. Y'all can get over there now and get in the bushes. All right. Until next time, until a couple minutes from now. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. Let's go over there now.